originally you did not have accessibility integrated into the platform. Okay, so then you added it. Do you see that as having a competitive advantage over Canva because you have that?
I think so. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's a small competitive advantage over Canva. I mean, I always say
Mm-hmm.
Canva is the gorilla in the market. They're huge. We're a very small player. We're like a small business. So just for context, we're a small business,
Mm-hmm.
a small player in the market. But I do think it's a competitive advantage. It's sort of like a niche, right? Like I always say, hey, we're like Canva, except we have, accessibility, and we do better in things like infographics and sort of businessy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we have all that stuff that, Canva can't be everything to everyone. So we
Sure.
focus on our niche, and accessibility has become one of those things that because we have all these features and we actually understand, accessible documents probably better than the Canva team and a lot of the other teams. We are able to, and we talk to people like you and all that. We're in the community, so we're able to add features into our tool that that can help people who want to make their documents accessible.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the things I noticed when I was using it is that, I know how resistant designers can be even to get into accessibility.
Right.
I teach them, and a lot of them don't want to get into it. They think it's too technical. So I've been trying to change that. So that can be a challenge, to get designers interested in that. But what I really liked about your software is that, it's got this interface that not only looks good, so it's appealing to designers, right? But you have tooltips with explanations to show, to educate people, to educate anyone who's using it, not just designers, obviously, but to educate them about, what this is for or what this means. And so I think that's really helpful. It's very interactive and educational.
Yeah. So you're absolutely right about, it's not just designers, like anyone in general, like someone writing a document in general. Like if you have to teach them about accessibility, they're just going like, why do I have to,
Right.
spend this much time? So one of the key sort of design, things that we adopted, design principles we adopted was like, look, we have to kind of design this sort of like universal design and accessible design where we don't want to have to teach someone a whole new platform, a whole new way to design. We want to try and integrate accessibility as much as possible as part of the design process. And the tooltips is one of the things you mentioned. So I think color is the other one. So one of the things that I think we found really annoying was like, hey, if you have to use an outside color checker every time you look for a color, like that's just, who's going to do that? No one's going to open up another color, a tool and just copy and paste the hex code. It's really difficult to do that. Find out what the hex code is, find out what the background hex code is, the foreground. Like it's a lot of work. So we sort of designed. So we were like so we had to design the system so that, hey, it's now just integrated in the color picker. We'll do all the testing, in the color picker itself. So when you pick a color of a text or an object, we will do the comparisons and tell you very simply, we'll sort of highlight red if it's low contrast, and then if it's, good enough high. And it depends. And we also look at the font size. So if it's large fonts, we use the, obviously large fonts, we can get away with lower contrast and so forth. So a lot of the accessibility is sort of built-in, and so it's less effort. So we try to make it less effort. And we also try to put some guardrails as well. There's some guardrails around some of the stuff you can do and cannot do. Although we had to take out, I think, not to say we take them out, like before we made it really strict where every time you download it, we would pop something up and say like, hey, this isn't accessible, this is accessible. And I think that was a little too annoying. So we took that out and made it more of a, hey, if you want to check it, then you check it. So.
Oh, I see. Okay.